the ball, and that fits his skill set in a big way.
What's it like with the reduction of walk-ons? I'm sure you're sympathetic to. Are there difficult decisions to get out of 105 than it used to be the case? Or what's that?
Yeah, not, it got to the point where we headed toward 105, but then, and I think this was fair and good, that you have some more or less exemptions right above your 105, and so we still have a good amount of walk-ons, which I appreciate. Contributing programs, it's something you find a good player out of that. They're a vital role for us to be able to run a program, and so our numbers will be over 105 for this fall.
It's kind of a grandfather rule type of
Correct.
thing. In the future, having that 105, does that seem like a low ceiling for that?
I don't. I think it's low because I'm all about the opportunities. This is a great game, and for more to be able to. It's a deep question. There's a lot of issues that come arise and all that, but I think the more you have, the more opportunity there is. 105 seems like.
Coach, what would you like to see different from your team this year, offensively, defensively, special teams, and coaching?
Right. Well, I think offensively, it starts with the line of scrimmage. You've got to find a way to be more balanced, so more consistent in the run game and set the pass game up, and it starts with the line of scrimmage. We want to see that. Defensively, we've got to be able to affect the passer more than we did a year ago. And again, that's why I'm back to year one to year two retention schemes, knowing what we need to improve on. Special teams wise, we got to be really steady and solid in the running game. We got a good punter, and so we want to make that a weapon for us in the punt side of things on special teams. I think coaches, we got to continue to adjust, right? We do something well, if there's good coaches in this league, they're going to take that away, and so all of us being ready to adjust just because we're doing something well, we know they're going to be able to shore that up and be the next step in the scheme. Excuse me.
A lot of the guys that you picked up in the transfer portal, I think we talked about this in spring camp, but there's guys from all sorts of different levels. D2, you guys added in the most recent portal, a guy that played in Canada a couple of years ago. And I'm curious, when you are setting the lens of where you're going to look for talent, like, why are you going to all these different spaces? Because it seems like a lot of teams want to add the Power 5, D1 kind of guys. Like, to take that breadth of recruiting, what goes into that?
Well, we want to be thorough in the evaluation of it as much as we can. And so we talk about wanting to evaluate. Well, we want to evaluate off of snaps in college football playing against 20-year-olds. And so we did take that approach of prioritizing guys that have played meaningful snaps at, call it whatever level, but against college players, and take a deep dive in the evaluation side. And so we tried to err more on a proven player that has played against other 20-year-olds.
Is there a little bit of Moneyball behind it, too, in some regards? Or?
Yeah, that's part of this balance. I don't know if it's Moneyball, but you are balancing, what you're investing now on a player. And so whether he's 17 to 20 to 22, if he's got multiple snaps against 20 to 22-year-olds, you feel a little bit more proven commodity that way.
So you guys had a pretty good June on the recruiting trail. What's your message to recruits this year compared to last year at this time?
Well, I think you talk about the momentum we've got. We feel really good on the recruiting side. 26 class of that consistent message of approach, development, and that part. I think one of our better things has been on the recruiting side to get them around our current players and the belief and the growth and development that has been taking place with our current roster to have them be a lead part of the recruiting side.
John, when you played at Oregon last year on Friday night, just what logistically or planning-wise was different that you did do, and having done it, anything that you would do differently if you do it again on a Friday night?
I think with the logistics of playing on Friday night itself, that we were down a day because like we're headed to the West Coast this next year, and we're going to take 2 nights and go a day earlier. It just was not feasible to do it in regards to preparation on a short week like that. And so that added a component. That's why I go back to this year 1 to year 2 learning, and I think every program coach learned from the extensive travel. I mean, some of this travel matters, and there was things to learn from year 1 of the coast-to-coast conference now that guys are going to adjust on.
So with a Friday night road game, would you like to, I don't know how feasible or not it is, but would you like to potentially go out on a Wednesday?
You think about it, but again, that changes quite a bit in your preparation and what you're normally done. But let's face it, I'm willing to adjust to do that. I don't think we catch a Friday night road game like that this year, but when it comes, we're going to put some thought into it.
We talk about development, John. Do you think, I'm sure you, as you're selling recruits now here at Michigan State, that you obviously go back to your time at Oregon State. Do you feel you, your staff, got enough credit at Oregon State for the development? Because you talk about where, you can call it what it is, you get a lot of 3-star guys, but you develop a lot of 3-star guys into NFL guys, and generally speaking, that doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah, I think you talk about selling it. Recruits look into backgrounds of coaches and programs and positions and what's taking place, and we take pride in our approach and how we develop and treat them, and we talk about that on the recruiting side.
John, I know it's only been about a month, but just curious what you thought about working with Jay Batch, what sort of things as you brought to the table, discussions you guys might have had. I mean, sort of stuff, I guess, whatever you can share with us, but just what's that been like?
Yeah, I've been impressed from him coming in early on, describing ways of partnering, finding ways to help each individual coach, not just myself. His background of success in our particular sport of football. You look at what's taking place at Georgia Tech the last couple of years, football-wise. They got that thing in a solid setting. His experience being at Alabama, and that's the best of the best in regards to a football program over the years, and so what he's bringing from that regard, I'm excited to continue to work with him.
John, between the end of last season and today, is there anything that you're pleasantly surprised with your program?
Well, I do like our additions that we had in January, and I do like some of the development, like the 3 guys we brought down here. These guys were here last season. What they've done, January to this point, watch them work in the off season, going through spring ball, the influence, speaking the same language as coaches. I feel really good and like that.